Hello and welcome back. Today's video will be on Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan from 1982. So now we're 3 years since Star Trek: Motion Picture, the first time Star Trek went to the big screen, and what an occasion it was! What a momentous, achievement. Um, and here we are at number two. A change up, a vastly different film from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Um, I think everyone involved, the producers or whatnot, and the script justified the fact that it was so different. Um, I mean, I guess so because it gave Star Trek some more life, some urgency, some danger, and this one was very dangerous and probably can't help myself. I'll have to talk about spoilers here, so drop out if you haven't seen the film. Um, yeah, so and now we have Admiral James T. Kirk. He's an admiral now, and again, like the script is not one of fairy tales. It's mirrors life and humanity, right? And how like we all like evolve. And James, like Kirk, he's now admiral, and like he won't admit it to himself. But like his friends and those around him can see that he's not necessarily as happy as he would be if he was the captain of the Enterprise. That's his baby. That's his. He just you can see on William Shatner's face every time he like steps on board the Enterprise at the beginning of each film that he's just so enamored and in love with the Enterprise, and so all the crew. All of that, they're reoccurring characters. Uhura, Sulu, they each have such admiration for the Enterprise, and you can see it on the actors' faces, which is really nice touch to see. And they've been playing these characters for numerous years, up to this point of the second film. Since like '66. So they're entrenched in the universe and like being on set and being around. The making of the films and whatnot. So they know what it means to the fans, right? And again, like all the actors return, which is great. Um, yeah, I would have loved, and you can't cry over spilt milk, can you? But I would have loved to have seen this, been alive, and seen this film play out, and not know that there was a third one on the horizon. Given what happens at the end, like it's just mind blowing. It's such a great film. The Wrath of Khan it's many fans' favorites. People love this film, and I knew that going in, but I didn't let that sort of sway me either way. I try to avoid that, just taking it how I see it by watching it, like being influenced. Sorry. So, and I concur totally. Without influence, man, this film is brilliant. Really good. It's like I'm getting like I love the motion picture, and now I love this film. So like I'm not even. I love that the thoughtful sort of approach to Star Trek, and like the very conceptual ideas that like Gene Roddenberry and whoever comes up with scripts and like character beats and moments for the films in the series. I love like the more thoughtful approach, and I love the more action heavy and going toe to toe with these villains. So I'm getting I love it all. I think it was like paced really well. Yeah, I don't think you can argue with the pace really. I think it comes in and out under 2 hours long anyway. And we get the introduction to the Enterprise, which is much more snappier this time. In the motion picture, it was you staring at the Enterprise for 5 minutes up to 5 minutes a time, several times. Um, which again I like. But here, I guess you didn't need to do that again. We've been introduced to it in the motion picture, and there was a long break, and then now we're here 3 years later. So, it's fresh in people's minds. Now, there's another emergency for the Enterprise to tackle, and thankfully the Enterprise is at full health. There's no drama that we're going to get like a Enterprise, warp drive or something's faulty. This is a fully breathable and full of life Enterprise, and everyone's ready to go. And of course, they don't know they're about to walk into like the battle of their lives against Khan. Now, Khan, um, what a villain! I mean, he's one of the best dressed villains of all time, um, and that's respect for the actor as well. Like he looks so cool. The hair, the accessories, just the way he approached the character because it's not the original actor from the series, and I just feel like he stepped into that character's stepped into the actor's shoes very naturally, and played it like he was Khan for his whole life, for his whole acting career. Yeah, he really went for it. Um, I mean, yeah, typical like sort of like a villain with revenge in their heart. Kirk did him dirty in the series, and now he can't stand it. The fact that like Kirk's still out there, and he has to get revenge at all costs. And this is a bad man. Yeah, Khan is a bad dude. He the scenes where like you see the bodies hanging from ropes and whatnot. Although that wasn't shown, but like you get the idea. You get the idea. He's on this. He's on this murderous, pursuit. And then there we get like the downfalls of the villain, don't we? He ends up getting hold of this Genesis, which is when you start thinking about Genesis and like the life creating properties of that invention by the scientists who are opposed to like the military who are butting in on their stuff. I like that commentary. Yeah, like so Khan just like even though he gets that in his grasp, his downfall is that he just can't let it go. His fight with Kirk, and Kirk knows this. That's why Kirk's such a great captain. He is a really good captain. Like you can like knock him for a few things, but not for like. So I just think some of his like captain attributes really sort of like get the job done. Like he knew when to maneuver in the space sort of like a space race around that planet. He knew when to play chicken and when to stop and then hope for Khan's inexperience because he has the intelligence, like it was pointed out to him, I think by McCoy, but he doesn't have the experience that Kirk has. So yeah, that paid off in Kirk's favor. Yeah, so this Genesis. I mean, there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said about Genesis. I didn't even notice. Like, I don't watch the trailers for these motion pictures. So I don't really know what's about to happen in these films, which is such a beautiful delight. Um, yeah. So Genesis is like this creation that the scientists have made, have been working on for I think numerous years, if I'm not wrong. Trying to like they're getting like funding from the military, but they don't want to be like bossed about or taken away from them. They want their project because it's so near and dear to their heart, and it's godlike powers given to these humans, which is very it's very fragile to be a creator of something, to give life and to take life. That's a very powerful sort of idea, um, and that's what this Genesis does. This machine that can, when placed somewhere, or can't really remember the technicalities of it, but when the machine is placed somewhere, after 24 hours it births life, and then really rapidly after that 24 hours, like plants grow and you could like survive, like food and nutrition is all supplied for you on whatever terrain you place the machine at, right? So you could populate planets, moons, and like the commentary there is on population, like overpopulation of the solar systems, and not enough food to go around. So this could sort of could be a humanitarian effort. Yeah, it's just really strong sort of commentary, and great to be included in the script. You know, amongst all the action, and you know it provides like great story beats, and great like they introduce like quotes from like poems, and obviously like it mirrors quite a few like novels and whatnot, like classical novels, Charles Dickens and whatnot. The Moby Dick references from Khan at the end, some great sort of like hateful speech towards Kirk, just to like send us out on a really sort of entertaining high. And Kirk has a son, you know, and like after certain events in the series, we now see um, Kirk get a chance of being a father, I guess, a son he never knew he had, right? Kirk's one with the ladies, you know, so he's this is not a woman that he's sort of stuck with, you know, because he's out there just exploring the galaxy on that 5 year quest, and now he discovered that he has a son, and they don't really have a relationship, you know, and that's quite it's very human, isn't it? Human, like sort of like human emotions at stake. They don't. It doesn't override the story. It doesn't like take over. But there's moments there, and like Shatner, William Shatner, yeah, some great. He's really great as Kirk here. I think certain like speeches that he makes are quite profound, quite strong in its context. Yeah, I mean, again, so Chekhov, the recurring characters like Chekhov, he gets a lot more to do here. He gets that weird sort of worm parasitic thing that infects him and makes him mind control him and stuff. And he had some really like I was really scared for his death. I thought he was gonna die, you know. And Chekhov's not even one of my favorite characters, but I was like affected by that. Um, I mean, I'd still really love to see Uhura and Sulu get some game time out there. You know, they really need some game time in the upcoming films that I'm about to watch. Um, I mean, it's still that's not taking away any credit from like the actors because they're top. Like they show up. They show up on game day, don't they? You know, they're always on the Enterprise. They're always willing to participate in these films and series. Yeah, I just love them so much. You know, Spock gets some great hero moments. Spock is the guy. He's like the superhero of Star Trek, you know, and he's it's not like you know your Marvels today. He's like a superhero in a different way, you know, and he's so not boastful and he just sacrifices himself. It's not about you know him being the main character and being the guy with all the skills. You know, he just naturally just sort of when he needs to step in, doesn't even make a fuss. Just walks out control room down to the Scotty's little station and puts his life on the line, man. Really does. And that just like wraps up like such a special film. I think it's one of those films where like you can definitely like glean more from. Like you can sort of go back to it and just take different bits. And I think that's what will happen with me when I eventually sort of rewatch it. Um, yeah, so I'm really happy about Wrath of Khan. Um, how it's sort of like the everyone involved in the making of the film sort of saw that okay they've done one thing in the motion picture, let's do something else now. Let's go bigger, bolder, in terms of like rapid sort of like more action heavy sort of like exhilarating fun in a way but also still tearing at your heartstrings and like having moments where like you're fearful for the characters that we've known and loved for so long. Yeah, that was Wrath of Khan. I really recommend checking out Wrath of Khan. Thank you for watching.